Good afternoon and welcome everybody. My name is Scott Seymour, Regional Maintenance Supervisor for MIW, Maintenance Guru for the Michigan West Division. And today we're coming from beautiful West Michigan. It's October, it's 77 degrees, and we're going to talk today about something I wouldn't think we'd be talking about on weather like this, and that's furnaces and a common problem we have with furnaces. Now, one of the most common things we see especially in this fall or late startups where we haven't run a furnace in a while in the home, is a spider web in the gas orifice. Now, this is a very simple fix. This is a very simple thing to diagnose, and we're going to take a look at it today. So why don't we take that time right now, step on inside and see what we got. Now that we're in the house, let's look at a couple of things we're going to need to make this job a success today. Let's start out with the safety items because we want to always start with safety. First thing, I always want to protect my eyes. So we're going to make sure we have a good quality pair of eye protection or safety glasses. The next thing we're going to look at is a lockout kit. We're going to be dealing with electrical and some gas fixtures today. So we want to make sure we're locking out the electrical portion of it. Not just any lockout kit. We want to have one that's specifically designed for locking out circuit breakers. When we shut this thing down, we want to lock it out and make sure no one accidentally trips it while we're working on it. Beyond that, it's a very basic, simple tools. You're going to need couple of channel locks. You'll need either a screwdriver or a battery drill, depending on what brand and what age this furnace is. It's either going to be a Phillips head or a 5/16 hex head. The last thing you're going to want for tools is a small screwdriver or something that can get down into that gas orifice and clean that spider web out if we find one in there. So some of the classic signs of a spider web issue is work orders and calls for they're getting very little heat out of their register. The furnace is running nonstop and still not heating up the house. These types of things. So in order to diagnose this, one of the first things we want to do is turn the furnace on and we get it to run. Now, like I say, it's 77 degrees in here, so we're really going to crank this up today. But we're going to make sure we turn the furnace to heat, and we're going to turn this temperature up high enough that it's going to kick the furnace on and run for a few minutes. So we're going to crank this thing up to 80, but we're not going to actually get it that warm. We're just going to let it run for a brief minute. So now that our furnace is running, a couple of things we want to look at. First thing we want to do is take a look at the flame. So we use the flame box and look. And if you look in, you'll see a very weak yellow flame. That's an indicator of not a lot of gas getting to it. The second indicator you can look at is up here on some models, and you see this flashing yellow light. That's an indicator that it has a low flame as well. That's what that flashing yellow light means. A solid yellow light means it's working fine. So now we've got this figured out, let's move into what's causing it. Moving back to our thermostat, we want to turn everything off, starting it here. We're going to switch it to off, and then we're going to move to the fuse panel. From a safety standpoint, next is a very important step. We want to verify and make sure the power is cut off this unit. So we're going to shut the breaker off to it, and we're going to put on a circuit breaker lockout. There are many styles of these, some clip-on, some screw-on. This is a screw-on type. Regardless, we're going to screw that on, and we're going to apply our lockout to it. Now that we have the electric and the thermostat turned off, the last thing we need to do is turn the gas off to the appliance. With that off, we're now ready to get to work. So I like to get things out of my way. We're going to be working right here today. Mainly we're working with this tube that runs back into the heat chamber of the furnace. So I want to get these wires out of the way. Because there's two, I want to make sure we put them back in the right place and we're done. So what I typically do is let one hang and take the second one and wrap it up into the wire. That way I'm not getting too confused. Next part we're going to do is take this off of the furnace. We talked about our Phillips head or our 5/16. This is where we use a 5/16. We're going to get in and take two screws out. And with those two screws out, give a little twist and pop this right out. This is what we're looking for right here. Once we've got this out, we can take our channel locks and disassemble this sleeve from the... And this is where we're going to look to see if we have our spider web. We look inside of here, Nope, we're nice and clear, there's nothing in there. However, there we are. If I look inside of this one, you see that white spider web inside of there? That's what's causing our blockage. This is what we want to get rid of. So this is where we're going to take our small screwdriver. And we're just kind of wiggle through here and get that broken out of there. You can blow in it, but trust me, you do not want to put this to your mouth. You don't want to taste it. Once we're done, we'll look right down it and make sure we don't see any other spider web in there. Once we have that cleaned out, we're ready to put it back together. So putting it back together, we're just going to reverse it, but the one thing we're going to do is put a little bit of pipe thread compound on. When you're using compound, you want to make sure you're using the right style of compound. Make sure it's good and rated for gas. If you're using Teflon tape, make sure it's rated for gas. So with that compound on, we'll just thread this back in. Take our channel lock and cinch it down. And reassemble it. Slide it back in the hole. Reset our screws. And then reattach our wires. With everything reattached, we're ready to turn the gas back on and then go turn the power and thermostat on. We've turned our thermostat on, we've turned our power on, our gas is on, the furnace is now up and running. Let's verify that that was our issue and we've solved the problem. If we look inside that door again and look at the difference in that flame. See how much larger and bluer that flame is than what we had originally? That's exactly what we're looking for. That means we did solve the problem by getting rid of that spider web. So there you have it, my friends. A very common problem with a very simple solution. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video helps you down the road. I hope you learned something new or maybe even refreshed your memory on something. So next time when you get that call, you'll know exactly what to do. Stay safe, everybody, and thank you.